Many have said quotes from philosophers and writers and other historical figures are just throwaway wisdom. Little blurbs that don't carry much weight but just make us feel better in the moment. Personally, I disagree. Yes, if we read their full body of work, we'd have greater insight as to what they're all about, but we can often boil down what their principal sentiment is into one sentence. This one sentence brings to the foreground their mindset, their logic, and indeed inspires us to take action in our own lives. On the subject matter of life and enduring through hard times, I've found these pocket-sized pieces of knowledge have helped me in facing the day-to-day while also giving grounded advice. Even if you're skeptical, maybe you can humor me and give this list of quotes a whirl. If you are in a bad mood, go for a walk. If you are still in a bad mood, go for another walk. He who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary. The greatest remedy for anger is delay. The bravest thing I ever did was continue in my life when I wanted to die. The young man or woman writing today has forgotten the problems of the human heart in conflict with itself, which alone can make good writing, because only that is worth writing about, worth the agony and the sweat. I live in that solitude which is painful in youth, but delicious in the years of maturity. Don't let them make you bitter or mean. Meditating on your mortality is only depressing if you miss the point. Before you diagnose yourself with depression or low self-esteem, first make sure you are not, in fact, just surrounded by assholes. The so-called psychologically depressed person who tries to kill herself doesn't do so out of, quote, hopelessness or an abstract conviction that life's assets and debts do not square, and surely not because death seems suddenly appealing. The person in whom its invisible agony reaches a certain endurable level will kill herself the same way a trapped person will eventually jump from the window of a burning high-rise. Make no mistake about people who leap from burning windows. Their terror of falling from a great height is still just as great as it would be for you or me standing speculatively at the same window, just checking out the view. i.e., the fear of falling remains a constant. The variable is the other terror, the fire's flames. When the flames get close enough, falling to death becomes the slightly less terrible of two terrors. It's not desiring the fall, it's terror of the flames. And yet nobody down on the sidewalk looking up and yelling, "Don't," and "Hang on," can understand the jump. Not really. You'd have to personally have been trapped and felt flames to really understand a terror way beyond falling. The mystery of human existence lies not in just staying alive, but in finding something to live for. It is not enough to have lived. We must be determined to live for something. Man can endure the hardest of trials if he sees meaning in them. The whole difficulty lies in creating that meaning. If you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. All we have to do is decide what to do with the time that is given. Why would anyone smoke weed when they could just mow a lawn? Well-being is realized by small steps, but is truly no small thing. Not to assume it's impossible because you find it hard, but to recognize that if it's humanly possible, you can do it too. Real change requires to change your behavior, not just your mindset. That's the problem with drinking, I thought as I poured myself a drink. If something bad happens, you drink in an attempt to forget. If something good happens, you drink in order to celebrate. And if nothing happens, you drink to make something happen. The best often die by their own hand to get away, and those left behind can never quite understand why anybody would ever want to get away from them. The worst thing in the world is to try to sleep and not to. Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done. Self-control is the chief element in self-respect, and self-respect is the chief element in courage. A disciplined mind leads to happiness, and an undisciplined mind leads to unhappiness. What would life be if we had no courage to attempt anything? I used to think the worst thing in life was to end up all alone. It's not. The worst thing in life is to end up with people that make you feel all alone. Man's right to kill himself is inviolable, but sometimes a friend can make it unnecessary. And if you like that video, then you can check out my book where I talk about that and many other issues that might help you. It's got a title so edgy, I'm not even sure if I can say it on YouTube. So check it out in the description. And as always, if you want, you can like, subscribe, and all that other fun stuff. More videos coming.